Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have two Beads of the Month clubs to share with you, the single versions of the 2-hole club and the Hot and Trendy club, both which come with a great variety of check glass beads mainly. You get 8 different containers in each club every single month, and the theme and the color scheme changes month after month, so you can build up your stash of those over time and get something different every month. And you have the option of signing up for this size or the double size, where you get twice as many beads, still getting 8 containers, but more quantities of each. And all those details can be found on their website. There's a lot of information there that you can check out so you can see what's right for you. And that website I will leave the link for right down below the video. And I also have a coupon code for them. It's Opal10, OPAL10, and that will save you 10% off the first month of your first club if you want to give them a try. And they're great, especially if you know that you like working with certain types of beads. They've got other types of clubs as well that you can check out. These happen to just be 2 of them that are some of my favorites. And we'll start out with the 2-hole club. This one, of course, as it says, gives you those more adventurous and interesting shapes to work with, mainly check glass, but sometimes in the Japanese Miyuki Tila line of 2-hole beads. And the theme for this one is called Stellar Wanderlust. We have our 8 varieties listed on the front, as well as the quantities and the retail cost. So you can see you save a little bit there over retail price. But I mainly like getting these, not specifically as a bargain, but to get things that I didn't specifically pick out, because a lot of times that inspires me to create and come up with new things. So there's a lot of value in that for me personally, and I think for others also. And I'm really excited to see what this one has in store. We'll do our flip over. We have some gorgeous shades of purple, lighter and darker, and also it looks like some silver and a little bit of frosty clear. So I'm going to get organized, then we'll take a look at each of these containers of beads up close, one at a time. Up first is a container of 7 grams of the Paros Parpuca beads in the full Labrador or silver coating, which is very reflective. It's got that sort of aluminum silver color, and the interesting shape that they have with their 6 sides, 2 of them being more elongated and then that pointed section on either side. And the holes kind of run diagonally parallel through these beads, so it's kind of interesting. We end up getting a lot from the Parpuca line of beads. You don't have to use those, of course, with the other one. You can use these with whatever beads you like. These just happen to be one of those interesting shapes in that line. And next up are the Kalos Parpuca beads, 7 grams included, and these are the crystal matte. So these remind me of the Minos beads that are a 1-hole bead in their line, except that they are a little bit wider and they have a more compressed or shorter cylindrical shape. And you can see those 2 holes that run parallel through the side of those round beads. Container number 3 is holding the Storm Duo shape, 50 pieces of those in the Jet Tweedy Purple variety. That tweedy finish is a lot of fun with the different flecks and sort of paint splattered look that you usually see combined with a brighter color and a metallic or maybe just a metallic. And this time we see that vibrant royal purple with the silver and a little bit of black possibly coming through from the background. And those Storm Duos have that wavy shape with 1 hole that goes through either end. And here's that same color combination and finish, this time in the 2-hole dagger beads, and we have 25 pieces in the container. Aren't those lovely? And they have more surface area than the Storm Duos, so you really get to see that tweedy color combination and finish even more thoroughly. These are the same shape and size as your standard dagger beads, but of course they've got these 2 holes at the top instead of just 1, which give you another area to sew through and maybe secure these elongated bead shapes into your design. Next, we have the Crystal Labrador Half Moon beads, and there's 50 pieces in the container. And of course, they have that half moon sort of crescent-like shape with the 2 holes going through the face of these beads, one side having that full Labrador or reflective silver finish and the other side being left clear, which also allows for some of that reflective silver to come through from the other side. Up next are the Gem Duo shape, 7 grams of these in the black/Vega duet variety. So it's half one color and half the other, which is really cool. These are a diamond shape, and you can do some really interesting things because of the fact that half of them has one color, half of them has the other. So depending on how you put these together, you can really use that special effect to your advantage. And of course, you can see the hole that runs through each side of these diamond shapes at those pointed ends. The bottom of these are more flat, and then the top has a bit more detail. And we'll usually get a selection of super duos every month in the 2-hole club. Our selection this time is the Metal Lust Matte Purple, 12.5 grams. I love these so much. They are gorgeous, very eye-catching in this deep metallic purple color that is on the darker side, but still very, very vibrant. And it's interesting how they don't all look like one flat color, depending on how the light's hitting them, and I think how the coating ended up being applied to these beads. There's certain ones that look just slightly darker and some that look just slightly lighter than others, which is a pretty interesting effect. Our final and 8th container is holding the Opal Violet Matte Ginkgo beads with 7 grams included. So it's interesting to see the matte in combination with the opal variety, which is normally kind of creamy and satiny looking, but these have an overall more frosty appearance. And that line that goes through a lot of them, giving them that overall look of the color just being drizzled in there. These, of course, have a shape that imitates a ginkgo leaf, and they've got one side that's rounded, one side that's pointed, and the holes that go up and down through each of those sides. So another fantastically curated 2-hole Beads of the Month club, I do believe, with another unique color palette, these beautiful shades of purple, and also some neutrals with the silver and the crystal matte, and also with our 8 high-quality check glass varieties of shapes, which you could see change on a monthly basis as well. Not only the color scheme will change, but there's so many different varieties of 2-hole beads out there. Those are going to change up from month to month too. So another inspiring mix that I am excited to play around with. And if you like 2-hole beads and bead weaving also, I highly recommend this club. And as you can see, this is the single version and you still get a lot to work with. So if you were to get the double version, again, you get twice the quantities of beads, and you're more than welcome to do that. I still find that there's plenty to play around with in the single club, and that also allows me to rationalize getting the hot and trendy club as well, which comes with even more adventurous shapes and styles in that one. So if you're open to getting pretty much anything and working with anything check glass, whether it's a single hole bead or multi-hole, you'll probably like that club as well. The one I received this month is called Hydrangea Blooms. So it looks like from the color of the title, this one may coordinate with what we have below also, which happens sometimes. And again, we have our list of the 8 different varieties that we're going to see, as well as the quantities and their retail cost, and we'll do a brief flip over before we get into that one. Gorgeous purples and blues and a little bit of white, so this definitely would coordinate with what we have below, which is kind of cool when that works out sometimes. Looks like we've got some more beautiful things to look at, so I'm going to get organized once again, and I will be right back. In our first container, we get started with our white/violet flower cup beads, and 14 pieces are included in this container. So they have that cup-like flower shape with the 3 petal design and the hole that runs up and down through the base of the flower. And overall, they have that light purple appearance, which is really a combination of the purple that also runs along some of that opaque white glass. Up next are some dagger beads, and these are the 1-hole daggers, not the 2-hole that we saw in the other club. There's 25 of these included, and the color is called Crystal Full AB Matte. These are so ethereal and glowy. I love that matte and AB finish combination because you get that soft glow and iridescence, which is a little bit more toned down. And that coating is included on both sides of these beads, which have a base of that crystal clear matte. And you can see that one hole that's located at the top. Container number 3 is definitely holding one of our more adventurous shapes. This is a vertical fixer bead. There's 7 grams included, and this is called the Chalk Nebula color, which is a purplish tone. And they almost have a shift from a pinkish purple to a blue, which is pretty interesting and definitely goes along with the hydrangea theme, because a lot of times you see those petals that have different shades from your blues to purpley pinks and things like that. But these have 4 holes, as you can see. There's a lot of different things you can do with them, and one thing being to use that groove in the center to your advantage if you want to use these in a bezel design and you want to use that groove to hold something like a cabochon in place, where these would kind of surround a cabochon and give you an area at the top and an area at the bottom to bead around. In container 4, we've got another floral inspired shape of bead. These are the pip beads in ivory silk shimmer engraved with 15 pieces in the container. And there are different sizes of these pip beads, and this happens to be a larger size. A great option, of course, to use as a flower petal, especially with the engraved detail that these have. They're very smooth and shiny with that glossy, shimmery coating that's beautiful over that opaque white. It looks like we're getting a lot of different options to use for perhaps bead weaving and making beaded flowers. We have next the lily petal shape. There's 50 of these included, and they are in the color called Blue Pearl. Sort of a deep periwinkle tone, I think. They also have a petal-like shape, as it suggests. They get a little bit more pointed at the tip. The hole is located at that more rounded top section, and they have a little bit of a curve to them, which would give your pieces a little bit more texture and movement. Container 6 is holding some of our bridge beads. These are a 3-hole shape. They're 7 grams, and the color is called Jet Suede Purple. And overall, they are a very pleasing shade of lavender with a very consistent and smooth, slightly metallic and satiny coating that's a little bit more toned down, not as shiny and reflective. And of course, you can see why they're called a bridge bead with the shape that they have. And they've got a hole that runs through each of those sides or ends, and then one that goes directly through the center. Our next container is holding 5 pieces of the table cut heart beads in royal blue with bronze. So we have this really sweet heart shape in this more chunky size with one hole runs straight up through the heart design. And we have the vibrant royal blue glass that you can see coming through and framing out those hearts that have that sort of antiqued looking bronzy metallic wash inside, and also that bronze luster that shows up on the outside of the beads. And our 8th and final container is holding another floral inspired shape. These are the petal beads, 30 pieces of the chalk white funky blue, that's what it's called, which is a combination of this blue on one side and a purplish color on the other. Such a fun and different variety, and you can see that these beads have that gradient that goes from the blue to purple, and they're all just a little bit different, just depending on where that color is located. These are another great option for using in a beaded flower design, and I just recently shared a tutorial that incorporates the size of petal beads. If you want to check that out, that's called the Precious Petals Necklace, and I'll show you how to turn these into a beaded floral component, which you could also turn into other things like earrings as well. And I'll try to link that in the corner. And I can just see these making for some really lush and pretty layered flowers, especially using the different sides of the blue and the purple together. So that's another fabulous Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month Club, a little bit of everything included, really showcasing how there's so many different shapes and styles of check glass beads, and not only that, but finishes and color combinations also. It's a great way to sample all different things and get a monthly surprise to work with. Again, if you like to work with all different types of things, and if you're inspired by getting something different that maybe you didn't pick out, I highly recommend this subscription. So that does it this month for these two Beads of the Month clubs, Hot and Trendy and 2-hole. I absolutely love these combinations, and I know these beads will be put to good use. I'm sure you'll see these over time in finished projects and tutorials and the like. They're definitely a welcome addition to my collection, and I hope you enjoyed checking out these clubs also to give you an idea of the types of things you can expect to see in these two varieties. And if you check out the playlist that I have for Beads of the Month Club, you'll also see how the color combinations and palettes change from month to month, so you're always getting something different and fun that is a surprise to work with. Be sure to check out the link for their subscriptions. They've got all the information you need to know on their website about all the different ones they have to offer. And in addition to your bead clubs, you also get a link that's located on the paper invoice that comes with your package that changes every month. And that gives you access to 3 downloadable beading patterns that often go along with these more adventurous shapes. So don't forget to check for that. And they also have that optional Findings Companion Pack add-on that you can opt to receive if you are an existing Bead Club subscriber, and that will ship for no additional charge over and above the cost of that add-on. And of course, if you're a new subscriber, don't forget you can use the coupon code OPAL10, OPAL10, to save 10% off the first month of your first club if you'd like to try them out. So another huge thank you to you all for being here. I'm so glad to have you to be able to unbox these together with you and give you the chance to take a look at these things up close. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're here if you haven't already, so that you're notified when I am back posting future content that may include some of these beads. That's all I have for today, but I will be back again real soon, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy beading.